Hi guys, so this is gonna be a video about technique and some elements of it. Again, another one. In this one, I'm gonna talk about the importance of your low range and why you should work on it and get really good controlling it. Especially if you plan on singing stuff that goes very high and that is highly demanding, high performance stuff that uses high C and so on. And so what the first thing you could think is that, well, I can sing on the low range, so that's good enough. I'm just worried about getting the high range going because I can sing on the low range, so it's not a problem. And you know the thing is the stuff that you have to control in order to control your high range well, they also are present on your low range. It's the same aspects, the same elements will be part of your voice on the low range, right? Say you want to use, your training covering, for example. It's a very good thing to train, you want to go use it on a high area to sound something like, covered voice up and down. It's a good thing because it's rather comfortable compared to other alternatives, right? Sounds good. It can be very powerful. There are a lot of reasons why you could train like this and incorporate this element. For metal singers, I think it's critical because it gets a good tonal quality that's desirable for this type. And you could think, well, but what the hell does that have to do with low notes? Well, think like this: you want to control that on the upper range, right? And so instead of working in this area already, you can do it in here, and it's gonna sound different. And you may even say, well, how do I cover on that area? Great question. That's one of the things that you should discover because this is closer to your spoken voice. And so if you can identify the coordination and qualities that you want to use in this area, it gets much easier for you to separate and build independent control and accuracy on the high range too. And it's easier, right? And you probably will find that if you cannot control on the high range very well, on the low range you probably control well will also be quite kind of lacking, or you're gonna try to do some other stuff. For example, covering this area with some like an old man, perhaps like if you exaggerate it, your vibrato is going to get slower, too large, it's going something like this. And there is a specific quality to it. It's kind of a crying, I don't know. It's a weird crying, something a little held back. It's not, it's not. The quality is a little bit, is more mellow, right? There's a lot of differences to this. But the core idea is, if you can train this on the low range in this way, you're going to find that it's not easy to control. And you probably are going to find that when you try to do it, you cheat. You do something like, you kind of emulate the idea by doing other stuff to produce a tone, something that reminds of it. But it's not the thing, at least not the thing completely isolated. So if you can do this and you can work on this isolation on low range, where you're not be worried about, oh, it's too high for me, it's there. You'll be able to focus just on that. You're gonna have a much easier time when you try to do it up higher. And you can gradually go higher because the higher you go, the more difficult it will be to control it because it's much more intense as the pitch rises. Okay, but now having this foundation, this more clear idea. Okay, I know what the hell I need to do. I know it's this thing. I need to keep that at least a little bit, and so I know how it feels like to do that. I know I can control. I can do it whenever I want. If I'm just doing nothing here, I can do it with can do it off Okay, that's it. It's the control you need. Now is a good time for you to start to practice and extend your high range. Try to extend it in this manner. Uh, if you just go to it and you not take your time to work on low notes and try to test the elements that you want to use higher and see how what's all about, right? It's gonna be very hard. It's gonna be trial and error. You're gonna stumble on all kinds of problems. You not be sure if the problem is happening because it's really the coordination is there. It's something else like support that's off, or maybe you don't have enough pressure. Not enough clarity on your voice to do it. Uh, 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 you're gonna be unsure of what's getting in the way, and you may even do the thing you want right and still get a problem. So I really recommend that you start to build this awareness and develop this idea of working on your low range and getting the elements you want to introduce in your singing very, very solid in that area first. Another thing that I talked about on the video with Greg and probably on my other video on technique too, is the idea of clarity and closure. Usually it goes like this. You're singing, people are singing the low range, like let's think a song. Let's say you're singing something from Dio, Holy Dive, great song, okay. And you're having a problem on the high range. You're going like, between the velvet lines, there's a truth that hard to steal, yeah. And that steal, you sing that steal, and it feels like, hey. There's air passing, and then, it's a problem of closure. There's too much air passing there. And you start to try to press the steel. You want to keep it tight. Steel, going from that more airy thing to get it to sound more proper. And it may work so, but you're probably going to see that it's not something reliable. You always have to think about, remember that spot, and sometimes you're going to forget, sometimes you're going to try it, and it's not going to work well. And the thing is, probably if you did that one octave below or a little lower, if you're singing like, between the velvet lines, you're going to see that the whole phrase, the whole verse, the whole bridge is all a little breathy and lacking clarity. You probably lack that problem that's manifesting on that specific spot in a more pronounced manner is probably present on your voice through the whole thing. It's not just on that moment that it happened. On that moment, things get harder, and so it becomes like, let's think like this. There is a threshold of difficulty that if you pass it, you just can't sing, and that's it. But you were very, very close to your limit already. That's why that spot makes it. And if you work on that, thinking of clarity, thinking of getting closure through the whole voice, you will see that the whole song will sound better because you're going to have more energy, more pressure, and then these difficult spots start to move out, to move to other places or due to other things that are not closure related. So we really, practicing on your low range is very important. Of course, there are some adjustments that are particular to the high range. For example, elevating even that, you can elevate the larynx on the low range too, but perhaps they sound good only on high range, and it's probably better to tie them together. The idea of rising the pitch, you will only rise the pitch if you go up in pitch, of course. But the idea is practice the stuff you want to do, the stuff you're training on the low range first. Get it super comfortable, and develop your control on your low range as well as you can, because it's easy. You have no excuse. It's like people saying, well, there's something that is always. I'm going off a bit off the subject, but I'll talk about. One thing that comes up a lot on technical forums or on discussions is, well, you should. Do I need to learn how to do a lip bubble or a tone trio? I heard that they are not that useful. Should I learn? Should I not learn? Well, and I mean, yeah, perhaps they are not very useful. It's a simple exercise, but the thing is, if you cannot learn to do a lip bubble, I'm sorry, but you have no hope of learning anything else. It's just this is something that babies learn to do. It's a that's all you have to do. Perhaps it's more difficult when you have to go up, but I know people that can't do they get it to be like, and are wondering, oh, should I learn? Should I invest my time on it? Come on, this is something that will solve in 1 week. I think it's a good, if you want to know if singing is for you, and you come across one of these, I can't do the tongue trio, I can't do a lip bubble, attempt it. Try to solve the problem. Try to produce it. I don't care if it's gonna be useful for you or not. It's useful. It is. But I don't care what you think about it. Just learn from the perspective. Okay, I'm trying to do something different with my voice. Let's see how it goes. And see if you're capable and you have the patience to go through that process, because I guarantee you the lip bubble is gonna be piece of cake compared to some other stuff that you're gonna attempt to solve. Some people like to simplify the things a lot. Yeah, it's just you should learn this tiny movement like this, that, and you're gonna see that the high range becomes super easy. And it's not like that. Yeah. To sing really, really well and to have the stuff that you're probably after is gonna be more complicated than just doing one thing or another. You can be sure. So I would extend that to the low range in comparison. You want to sing high, you want to train your high range to get good. Get good on your low range first, because it's gonna be comparatively, it's gonna take much less time. It's much easier to solve and much less frustrating, and it's gonna give you a good basis for you to sing from. You're gonna be able to perform songs in an interesting way, and increases the chances that you're gonna last through the whole thing. And I can't stress how this is important, because it may be a journey of years ahead of you, and you will not get through that just hoping that 3 years from now I'm gonna be able to sing one song. No, I'm sorry, no. You have to develop a repertoire much sooner than that, and build things gradually. And so I really stress that you should develop your low range first. And thinking of the holy diver idea, one thing that you could do, if you have just that problem that I mentioned, take that whole thing and sing low. Try to get the closure, try to get the clarity first on the low range. So, between the velvet lines, there's a truth that hard to steal, yeah. The vision never dies, life's a never-ending wheel. And see how that changes over time as you do it daily. Try to get it to sound more close, more aggressive, with more presence, and gradually develop to a point that you want, and try to do so in a comfortable manner. And then you try to sing, and you're gonna see that the difference it makes is huge. If you do it right and get all the ideas right, it's gonna go like, between the velvet lines, there's a truth that's hard to steal, yeah. The vision never dies, life's a never-ending wheel. Which, for me, speaking of my journey, because singing Dio was one of my my dreams when I began. It took, I can say that it took like 10 years to do this. For sure, I could not sing this song at all in this manner when I began. Like, too high, way too high for me. And it wasn't just some lessons, some ideas that I incorporated. It took a long time of training, of building up stuff that could lead me to get this result. Of course, much sooner than that, I was able to sing the song in a way that was okay. But to get to the point that I'm right now, where I'm much more satisfied with the tonal quality that I'm getting, that I think that fits the song much better. It's been all that time was necessary, and probably I can get much better than this if I keep training, and I intend to. So these are the things that I want to say, want to get across, and working on the low range is a way for you to get things done faster, because speeding up is a very good thing when it comes to singing and training for the high range. Anything that you can do that can make it happen a little faster will make a little faster, as in fast. I don't know if it's called faster, like rotting stuff. No, I don't know. And and anything that makes you go fast in this sense will save you a lot of time, because it's a long journey. And has a bonus effect, the bonus of allowing you to sing stuff and have fun with it, have a singing voice that you can use to practice and do the craft. You need to become a singer. And if you don't have a low range, you're always just dreaming of the note, of reaching that. It's gonna get so frustrating that I really hardly think anyone can get through the whole process just in this basis. Perhaps there are people that can do that. I'm not one of them, and I think it's a way to suffer a lot. So work on your low range. Make sure that whatever concept you are trying to use, you can do it on your low range, and you can control it super easily in there. And patience, and sing with the range that you're comfortable with. Make sure that you're singing with it. All right. I think that's it. I hope it's something valuable. There was something valuable for you in this. And if you want to reach me for lessons, I'll leave my contact information below. Thanks for watching. I'll send more stuff as I think about it. If you have any subject that you want me to talk about next, I will do it. On the other video, I asked it and I received some suggestions. I'll soon do a video about it, and I really thanks everyone that's watching and that's writing back. I really appreciate it. See you.